This is discipline 1, shot 5A, also known as the just showing off shot. Lots of balls are set up in this shot, so let's get started. Let's start with the 1 and the 2 ball. The 1's going to be frozen to the long rail, 2 ball's going to be frozen to the 1 ball, lined up straight across the table. What's important for these 2 balls is knowing how far they are away from the point of the side pocket. And you want to measure this so you can make adjustments later. For me, I'm going to start by using the 9 and the 10 ball, putting the front edge of the 9 and the 10 even with the point of the side pocket. So I would call this 1 ball width away from the point of the side pocket. Also, by using the 9 and the 10 ball, I can see that these 4 balls form a square, so I can more visually ensure that the 1 and the 2 ball are aligned straight across the table. Let's move on to the 3 ball now. I'm going to use my cue stick to help with this. I'm going to hold my cue stick across the center of the table. The butt's going to be propped up on the side pocket. Then I can use the 3 ball, slide it against the rail, past the point of the side pocket until it touches the cue stick. From there, I'm going to move it an extra quarter ball away from the side pocket, like so. But I'm going to hold everything there and grab the 4 ball. I'm going to come in from the other side, freeze the 4 ball to the cue stick, and slide it up against it until it's touching the 3 ball. Once those 2 are in place, I'll hold those steady, move the cue stick, give those a nice little tap. Now the 5 ball is going to be frozen to the 4, and the 4-5 combination is going to be pointing somewhere into the long rail towards this corner pocket. Now I like to again measure this using the 9 and the 10 ball. I'm going to freeze those to the rail such that the front edge of the 9 ball is even with the point of the corner pockets coming straight across the table. And how I utilize that is I'm going to point my Q-tip to the right edge of the 10 ball. And while it's there, I'm going to move the butt end of my cue stick in so it's touching the 4 ball. And if you're doing this measurement and the tip kind of moves off a little bit, just wiggle the cue stick back and forth so you don't have to slide the whole thing and risk moving the 4 ball too much. Once that's in place, put the 5 ball against the cue stick, slide it up until it touches the 4 ball. You can move the cue stick away. Nice little tap to keep it there. And so if you miss the 5 ball, now you have a reference point for where you initially started, and you can adjust by moving the 9 and the 10 either up the rail if you need to, or pointing to a different point on the 9 or the 10 ball, depending on which way you missed the 5 ball and how much of an adjustment you need to make. So we can get rid of these 2 balls for now. The cue ball, I'm going to put about a diamond back between the 1 ball and the 2 ball. So another ball width back from the 3rd diamond. And it's going to be about a ball and a quarter width off the rail. And I'm just going to visualize that measurement. You can measure it using different techniques. Some people like to use the number of fingers in here, or they'll use pieces of chalk. But that's how I like to make that measurement. I'll just do it visually, and then we'll hang the 6 ball. For my aim point, I'm going to go less than half on the 2 ball. So the left edge of my shaft is going to be even with the right edge of the 2 ball. Just make sure you're coming over the center of the cue ball. Then I'm going to roll my shaft an extra half shaft width to the right, so away from the 2 ball. And again, adjust for coming over the center of the cue ball. Now at this point, you're pointing to some point on the 5 ball, but you don't want to use that as a reference point because the position of the 5 ball is going to change depending on how much throw you're getting or not getting to get the 5 ball into the corner pocket. So use the 2 ball for your reference point, you're not going to go wrong. So that's going to be my aim, and then I'm going to use a half tip of left hand English to get it around. And that's the just showing off shot. So again, the keys to this shot, the 1 and the 2 ball, how far they are away from the point of the side pocket, moving back and forth depending on if you're making the 1 ball. And then the 4-5 combination, figuring out where you need to align it exactly to account for the throw. The cue ball position, you can play around with that. And like with the other shots where you're going 3 rails around the table and making a hanger, practice so that you know what adjustments you need to make to get the cue ball to come up a little shorter on the long rail or longer on the short rail. And that way when you get to a tournament, you know exactly the adjustments you need to make in case your regular setup isn't working. This is just showing off shot, fun shot to do, you know, and a pretty high percentage make rate once you get all the adjustments down.